Once you've got great sail setup and body position, combined with your perfect upwind angle, you can really dial in the dynamics of light air upwind sailing. These involve playing with two main variables to stay optimized: your mainsheet tension and your body weight. Remember, your angle needs to remain close-hauled, changing as little as possible. In light wind, the boat will almost constantly be accelerating and decelerating. Therefore, you need to be making the correct adjustments to both body weight and sheet to maximize VMG. In this way, light wind sailing is very dynamic and fun. We're going to look at use of body weight first, then sheet, both in isolation. Then we'll look at combining them into cycles that will send your light wind VMG through the stratosphere. Let's get cracking. To go fast in a car, you push down on the accelerator pedal. In a laser, your accelerator pedal is your body weight. The more of it you add outboard, the faster you will go. Adding weight converts the power in the sail into speed. That said, there's a limit to how much weight you can add: your boat's heel. Remember our checklist for an optimized boat? You might have the best intention to accelerate more and more, but if you get too greedy, you'll end up with windward heel, which is slow. At times, the wind may drop, and you might need to bring your weight inboard. Note that bringing your body weight inboard can be seen as detrimental, a penalty to speed. But if it's necessary to avoid windward heel, we must do it anyway. Once you've reduced weight, the good news is you're ready to add weight and accelerate again if you sense any amount of power increase. Another benefit of reducing weight is that you'll avoid the natural tendency to bear away as your boat gets over flat. This is a very common and disastrous error in light wind. This sailor did a great job to bring his body weight up here and avoid accidental bear away. This diagram represents the cycles of acceleration and deceleration that you'll be experiencing regularly in light wind. Let's imagine you're sailing along a bit slow, starting around 6 o'clock on the wheel. Your weight is inboard, but you feel a power increase in the sail. You move your shoulders outboard and blammo, the boat is now accelerating. You're up in the top end of the cycle, and eventually you'll reach top speed for this amount of wind. Now you feel a bit of power loss, so you simply bring your shoulders more vertical to reduce weight outboard and thus prevent windward heel. Pretty simple really. Add weight to accelerate, reduce weight when the power drops to keep your heel consistent. Let's see how a sailor works in light wind to accelerate the boat and then decelerate, just like in our cycle diagram. Focus your attention on how he's using his body weight. He's keeping his hip angle more than 90 degrees most of the time. When we say adding body weight, just to be clear, this means moving your body to a position further outboard on the boat by adjusting your hip angle, which moves your shoulders out, or by moving your butt outboard. Here, he feels like there's some extra power available, so he adds his weight. That was an acceleration. He extended at the hip and moved his shoulders outboard. Shortly thereafter, he's losing power a bit and moves in, which helps him keep his heel angle the same. It avoids windward heel. Now he'll be decelerating until his next opportunity to add weight. The key here is to really tune into these opportunities to add every amount of extra weight possible without inducing windward heel. You need to convert any available sail power into speed whenever that power presents itself. Mainsheet tension can be seen very much like a transmission. It doesn't make us go faster until we press the accelerator, but it needs to be in the right gear to optimize performance. An ease sheet can be seen like a low gear or an acceleration gear. The sail is powerful, full, and is good for accelerating. A tight sheet can be seen as a top gear. It's flatter, efficient, and points high, but it only works if we are moving at a relatively high speed. We need to add a certain amount of weight outboard to justify a tighter sheet and gain access to this top end. Here in our cycle, imagine again starting at 6 o'clock. You want to accelerate, so the best choice is an ease sheet. A tight sheet would only stall you at this stage with low speed. Imagine sensing a bit of pressure coming into the sail. You move your shoulders outboard and accelerate. Now, as you finish accelerating, you can shift gears to a tighter sheet. That was a nice transition through an acceleration cycle. The order of adding weight and then sheeting is important. Now, imagine you're at the 12 o'clock stage. Your speed is good, sheet is tight, shoulders are out, and you're pointing well. Now you're sensing the power drop and the deceleration is beginning. Now it's time to downshift. Ease a bit of sheet and bring your body weight in if needed. Now you're ready to accelerate again as soon as it's possible to add more weight. These cycles will just repeat themselves over and over. This is what's happening when you see good sailors easing and trimming a few inches in light wind. Let's look at this sailor again, but this time focus all of your attention on his sheeting. Here, notice he's got his sheet out but his weight inboard, so he's a bit slow but ready to accelerate. He feels some power and adds some weight, and that's the acceleration happening. His accelerator pedal is going down. And now he's going faster, so shortly after, he can justify shifting gears into a higher efficiency, tighter sheet and sail shape. So he does that. Now he's getting the sense that he's losing power, so he downshifts, easing the sheet. Now you can see his body come up. Just watch his sheet tension and let's figure out if he's just accelerated or if he's shifting down. Here's a few summary diagrams where you'll be able to see some examples of sheet ranges and the contrast between our two gears. In the drifter condition, we can see the acceleration gear here on the left and the top gear on the right. The sheet is looser, approximately 2 feet, and this is all the sailor can justify to pull in based on his limited body weight outboard. Notice the shape differences between the two sails. They're actually quite similar, but the one on the left is more outboard to prevent stalling. In between these shots, he was able to add some weight, accelerate, and subsequently shift up. That is, to trim sheet for his new speed. In the drifter, with your weight leaning in, you won't be able to go fast enough to get near block to block. In this condition, where the sailor is sitting upright on the deck, he's going faster than the drifter in the previous slide, so his sheet is noticeably tighter. Notice the shape differences between the two sails on this slide. The left is fuller and more powerful because of the eased sheet. The right sail is flatter and more efficient with the tighter sheet. In between photos, he's added weight, and you can see that he trimmed in fairly close to block with his new high speed. In this condition, it would be typical to see a sailor cycling between these two gears, only adjusting a small amount of sheet. Here the sailor is leaning outboard past the gunnel. He's moving a lot faster and is finally able to get a very efficient sheet tension of block to block. Notice the shape differences between the two sails. The left is fuller and powerful with the sheet eased just a bit. Look at the leech. You can see a bit more hook there, indicating more depth. In the image on the right, the sail is flatter and more efficient with a tighter sheet. A sheet range of just 1 inch will often do the trick in this condition to shift between gears. Now you know the basics of dynamic weight and trim movements in light wind. Here's a quick recap. Add weight to accelerate. Trim in when fast. Ease sheet during power drops. Reduce weight if needed to maintain constant heel. Your heel dictates the amount of body weight outboard. Your speed dictates sheet tension. The timing and quantity of these depends on the change occurring, how drastic or subtle they are. Let's look at some more examples of how sheet and weight work together in these cycles. Now you've learned a great foundation for how the main sheet and body work together in light wind to maximize VMG. We'll give you some great checklists and drills in the PDFs for refining these sequences. Make sure to review them. Following this guidance will really help avoid many common errors of light wind sailing. So get out there and practice, and we'll see you in the next lesson.